Okay. Hello. Um, hello. Hello. So today um we are going to see how OpenAI Assistant works. We have the real use case. We're going to apply it. Um, I hope today's video won't be that long because I already know what we need to do. You just need to learn how to do it. Yeah, that is pretty much. So I have this my personal blog over here. I developed this small widget. It's a floating uh, chat panel for my blog where the reader can just get here, ask a specific question about the current article. So for example, say the user is in this line here and is reading I'm assuming that you've got basic knowledge in Node.js and you are familiar with JavaScript features like async await, for await loop, and async iterators, but the user does not already know this stuff. So instead of them you going and search for these terms, they can just ask in this input here in this dialog. So this dialog will be using OpenAI Assistant to have discussion about the current article. Of course, the assistant will be tailored to behave as a blog assistant and not just a general use case. Okay, so I'm going to read this article right now. Hopefully we can understand stuff from it. How assistants works, or how assistants work, sorry. The Assistant API is designed to help developers build powerful AI assistant capable of performing a variety of tasks. The Assistant API is in beta and we are actively working on adding more functionality. Share your feedback in our developer forum. Okay. Assistant can call OpenAI's models with specific instructions to tune their personality and capabilities. Good. Assistant can access multiple tools in parallel. These can be both OpenAI hosted tools like Code Interpreter and Knowledge Retrieval, or tools you build host via function calling. Okay, nice. So perhaps using function calling, we can have a feature to um, to suggest further questions, perhaps refine user query as well. So let's say the user is asking about something, but if we can improve the user input before we actually sending it to the actual model or to the major logic to generate the answer, perhaps we can tune it or refine it via function calling as well. For the knowledge retrieval part, so since that chatbot will only work for the current context, for the current opened blog, I'm guessing I'll just send the whole blog. I'm not going to to vectorize it and save it in vector index database. Rather, I'll just send the whole blog post in the prompt. Um, because as we said, just for the current blog context, there is no cross-border search or any of this kind, you know. Assistants can access persistent threads. Threads simplify AI application development by storing message history, and truncating it when the conversation gets too long for the model's context length. You create a thread once and simply append message to it as your user replies. So this is why I am very interesting to implement threads and assistant API, because right now I'm using Redis to host the messages. But since OpenAI just give us the logic out of the box, that would be, I won't say better, but certainly it's simpler because I don't have to go to use tools beside OpenAI right now. I'm not sure about the price. Like I thought about price, I didn't find any information about it and how they calculate it. But since we just that this is more of an experiment, I wouldn't care much about it. Assistants can access files in several formats. either as part of their creation or as a part of threads between assistants and users. When using tools, assistants can also create files, images, spreadsheets, and cites files they reference in the message they create. Perhaps instead of sending the blog as is in the prompt, we can upload it as a file. That's first step. And um, so upload can contain images, as you know. I'm not sure whether to send these images because currently I just strip out all images from a blog. But this can work, but image alone is not enough. Even though OpenAI can actually extract information from it, like understand its visual aspect, I only think that images are useful in case the image have caption or caption just to textually represent what does it convey. So beside that, I won't actually use the images as files and upload them to OpenAI. Just give me a moment. I just want to close the windows. Okay, I have tea here. I hope you have something to drink. Okay, cool. It's very hot. Objects. I think this diagram shows how assistant with the thread API works. Assistant personal finance bot, okay? Thread retirement planning. User messages how much should I contribute to my retirement plan? So user messages goes through run. The assistant is personal finance bot, okay, so the same assistant here. Thread name is retirement planning. Okay, so a thread can have a name, which means we can so the way it works, we will create an assistant per user and a thread per blog. So many assistants. So it's like many to one relationship. Many assistants for one thread. A thread would be a blog, and assistant would have a user corresponding to it. Again, going back here, user message will go through steps. Use code interpreter. Uh, then create message. The message will be sent as assistant's message. You should contribute blah 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 to the thread. Okay, sounds good. Assistant object with what it represents. Assistant purpose-built AI that uses OpenAI's models and calls tools. Uh, uh, Tools. Those are tools like code interpreter, knowledge retrieval, or function calling. Custom tools using function calling. Okay. A thread is a conversation between an assistant and a user. Threads stores messages and automatically handle truncation to fit content into a model's context. This is cool. Like language chain already does this. After certain length of messages, or perhaps certain amount of token, I'm not sure. Language chain will not truncate, rather summarize using a model to minimize the amount of text you send with each time to the model. I'm not sure if truncation is better or worse, but it's something. And I want to implement a feature in the chatbot where the user can clear previous history. So hopefully this does not have to happen, which makes sense just to clear it because if you want to ask about something, let's say you ask about how compiler works, you are reading compiler article and you want to ask how compiler works, it makes sense just to clear the discussion about how compiler works after you finish with it, so you can start a clear discussion with clean message so the OpenAI doesn't have to truncate your message list. Okay, a message created by an assistant or a user. Messages can include text, images, and other files. Message is stored as a list in one on the thread. Okay, stored as a list. Does that mean message is an API embedded within the thread, not a standalone API? Okay, we will have to figure this out. Run an invocation of an assistant on a thread. Run the assistant uses its configuration and threads messages to perform tasks by calling models and tools. Okay. As a part of a run, the assistant appends messages to the thread. So is run an API as well, or just is conceptual thing? Run step, a detailed list of steps the assistant took as part of run. An assistant can call tools or create messages during its run. Examining run steps allows you to introspect how assistant getting to its final result. Ah, okay, cool. So this is more of a it's an introspection of how the chain of API have been made. It chain because you have to go back and forth with the assistant. Creating assistants. We recommend using OpenAI latest models with the assistant API for best results and maximum compatibility with tools. So actually we're going to use GPT-4 Turbo. I'm not sure if I have access to it or if it needs access to start with. If I don't have access, I'll just use GPT 3.5 Turbo with 32 thousand or K amount of tokens. To get started, creating an assistant only requires specifying the model to use, but you can further customize the behavior of the assistant. Use the instruction parameter to guide the personality of the assistant and define its goals. Instructions are similar to system messaging and shared completion API. Okay, let me just check the recording software. I'm not sure if I'm actually recording my voice. I just remembered. Okay. So this is my voice. It's recording screen. This audio input. Okay, I think it is. Hopefully this time it's actually recording my voice. Use instruction parameter to guide the personality of the AI of the assistant and define its goals. Okay. Personality. So okay. So right now assistant, of course it used to, but I think OpenAI is like emphasis here that you have to personalize your assistant, like giving it a role or a name. Okay, and define its goals. Okay, that's cool. Instructions are similar to system messages in the in-chat completion API. Okay. Use the tools parameter to give the assistant. By the way, I already have system message because like this is not the first time I do this chatbot, but this is the first time I use this new API. As I said, I used to use Redis along with ChatGPT or sorry, OpenAI models just to store the list of messages before for each user. But yeah, I just have this message already built in, so we are not going to craft new one. Use the tools parameters to give assistant access to up 128 tools. Nice. You can give it access to OpenAI hosted tools like content retrieval or call third-party tools via function calling. Okay. Use the yeah, this is new for me. I didn't know that there is pre-built 128 tools before. Use the files IDs parameter to give the tools code interpreter and retrieval access to files. Files are uploaded using the file upload endpoint and must have the purpose set to assistance to be used with this API. Okay, so I think behind the scene they are using some kind of function calling to associate, like to obtain the meaning of the user prompt to fetch the paste clause file to the user intent from that prompt. That's why you have to set a purpose because they don't have to like to examine the whole file. They just can compare the purpose with the intent you are conveying with your prompt. That way it can matches. For example, to create an assistant that can create data visualization based on a CSV file, first upload the file. Okay. And then create an assistant with the upload file. So the way to create file, you access files API and we send you the file. Okay, it accepts the stream. That's very cool. And purpose assistants. It's not very very clear way to represent what purpose means, but anyway. And then create assistant with upload file. So the file will return a file object with that have ID. We will specify that the tools we are going to use is just code interpreter. I think I never used code interpreter before, but I think code interpreter works across not just. Oh, sorry. So code interpreter use Python behind the scene. That's why it would be able to visualize that CSV file. Okay, makes sense now. Description. So we have a name for the assistant. If we go back to the diagram here or the flow, we can see that the assistant actually have a name. The name here was personal finance bot, and the thread name was retirement planning. Let's see how threads is being created. You are great. This is description. You are great at creating beautiful data visualizations. You analyze data present in CSV files, understand trends, and come up with data visualization relevant to this trend. You also share a brief text summary of the trends observed. Okay, nice. This model, okay, I'm not sure what does preview mean or why this name is like this. I'm guessing the final, like, I'm guessing there is no yet stable model at this point. I'm not sure. Um, okay. You can attach maximum of 20 files per assistant. Okay, nice. And they can be at most 512 megabyte each. In addition, the size of all files uploaded by your organization should not exceed 100 gigabytes. You can request an increase in this storage limit using our help center. Uh, I can't imagine a company would use more than 100 gigabytes um, storage, like for the purpose of AI. Yeah, that would be a wild use case actually. You can also use the assistant file object to create, delete, or review the associations between assistant and or file objects. Not that deleting an assistant file does not delete the original file object. It simply deletes the association between the file and the assistant. To delete a file, use the file deleting point instead. Okay, so what this paragraph means. So when you create an assistant, you associate a file with it. So in case you want to remove or update or to do what or to add a file, you would use assistant file object. Okay, so this will remove the association between the file you created and the assistant, and will not remove the original file that you actually created here. So this will stay still in case you removed a relationship between the assistant and file. Okay, managing threads and messages. Threads and messages represent a conversation session between an assistant and a user. Okay, hello. Cool so far. There's no limit to the number of messages you can store in threads. Nice. How so? What do you mean by there is no limit? Because like before they said they will truncate the list of messages in case they get longer. So I'm not sure what they actually mean by there is no limit. Like this sounds like when a company says you have a limited paid time off. Um, okay. Once the size of the messages exceeded the context window of the model, the thread will attempt to include as many messages as possible that fits in the context window and drop the oldest messages. Know that this transaction strategy may evolve over time. Okay, I'm confused here to be honest. I don't understand how like truncating messages works with there is no limit to the number of messages you share in thread. Okay. You can create a thread with an initial list of messages like this. Okay. Oh, we have to expect the object here, which means it's not stable yet. Okay. I'm guessing there will not be much of I don't think there will be any API change, breaking changes. So like most of the people having here, it just will be internal changes to the models, to the how the logic works, while the interface of the API would stay the same. Yeah, most probably. Okay, so message is still the same as before. We have rule and we have content, and we have file IDs. This is a new one. So we say that assistant can have files here. Okay, so um okay um I haven't got the whole picture yet. Let me read more before deciding. Messages can contain text, images, or files. At the moment, user created messages cannot contain image files, but we are okay. But we plan to add support for this in the future. So we said before that I might actually include the images in the blog, but seems here just it's not supported yet. Okay. Messages annotation. Messages created by an assistant may contain annotations within the content array of the object. Annotations provide information around how you should annotate the text in the messages. There are two types of annotation: file citation. File citation are created by the retrieval tool and define the references to the specific code in the specific file that was uploaded and used by the assistant to generate the response. File path annotations are created by the code interpreter tool and contain references to the file generated by the tool. Okay, when annotations are present in the message object, you will see illegible model-generated substrings in the text that you should replace with annotation. These strings may look something like, okay, so we will do some string manipulation here. Here's an example of Python code snippet that replaces these strings with information present in the annotation. Okay, so we have the message, we are retrieving a message here. We have the content file, we have the annotations, and we are getting so the annotation is an object, it's not a text. Uh, it is an annotation. Must content value to replace. Yeah, it's actually an object, not a text. Okay. So here, I don't work with Python actually, so I will try my best to digest this code. So we have the message content, which is the okay. We have this is specific message. So we have the message content. So we're saying, get me the value of the message content. Replace the annotation with that should stand for format with index. So index is like the index of the annotation. Okay, cool. File citation. So this will end up like this. So say that we have. Can I close this? Okay, I can close. Why? Right? Okay, forget about it. Okay, so say I have this content like this. Let me drop down, make sure. Hello world, and we are replacing. What we are replacing here? Sorry, just give me a moment to understand exactly what's happening here. So the message content value replace annotation to text. Okay. Oh yeah. So this again. Hello world. Would replace. So it say the annotation looks like this. Okay. Annotation. Yeah, this is how we write annotation. To replace annotation with um, index. So in JavaScript, we just need to say this, like, you see, we need actually to replace like this. So this over here will sound like this, or instead we can just have in bracket. Not really. I think. Anyway, you get the concept. I just need to use a regular expression here. Just okay. Let me try regular expression. I still same. Um, like I'm not. I do. Yes. I think I'll just should start with here. So we are replacing it with. I do remember that if I one like something like this, it will actually get the value of the regex and put it here instead. Um. Anyway, so say that we're index one, so this should replace. Let's forget about this one here. Yes, it will be like this. So we are replacing the annotation with one. Sorry for wasting your time. Um. But you get the point. You just need to replace annotations with the corresponding indexes and add them to the footnote so the user can. It's like generate the whole response, and you have a list of footnotes under each other referencing the actual generated documents from the model itself. Yeah, like this. So we're getting annotation, file citation, if there is a file citation, and we are saying that file citation code. Okay, you get the value. Anyway, we will try this anyway. Runs and run steps. When you have all the context you need from the user in the thread, you can run the thread with an assistant of your choice. Okay. So, oh, there is an API for run. Okay. It's not just a conceptual thing. So OpenAI beta threads dot runs dot create. We are sending a thread ID. We are sending the assistant ID. So run is like a is the API that will associate the thread with an assistant. Go back just to the assistant itself. We can see that the assistant have list of messages stored, so there will be no API, specific or special API for messages. We will just embed them in the thread itself. So we're sending a thread ID with a assistant ID to the run API. Okay. Node file IDs associated with assistant cannot be overridden during run creation. You must use the modify assistant endpoint to do this. Okay. Again, we are to create a run. Um, Sorry, let me go back here. By default, a run will use the model and tools configuration specified in assistant object, but you can override most of this when creating the run for added flexibility. Okay. So the minimum amount you just need to send assistant ID, otherwise, and to use the rest from the sensed object unless you want to override them here. What they mean by additional? I thought this additional instructions. So this is not the. Is this overriding the assistant or instructions, or it just augmenting it? Okay, there is a lot of unknowns here. We have to do research, guys. Run lifecycle, or we have to figure out in our own, as always. Run objects can have multiple statuses. That's the run object. So, where does this start? So, okay, so the run, okay, sorry. I have screen over there that actually have, the whole white thing, the light thing in my front of my face. Um, yeah, I'm just utilizing the tools I have in my hand right now. So the user will like we will create a run API and it will start here. It will be queued, then it will go in progress. So there are two things that will happen after any progress. It will either cancel the run, and the status of it will be cancelled, or it will ask for it, or it will require. Sorry, there are three status actually. It either cancels, it it might cancel, or it can just fail for some any reason with an API, or it will just complete directly, and it can expire directly. I'm not sure what experience mean here. We will see here. And in a progress, like after it was in progress, it might require an action. Like an action could be to retrieve some files. That do you remember the knowledge retrieval tool over there? So in case it needs that tool, it will require an action. So when it requires an action, it will queue. The queue will again do the whole thing and until it is one of those statuses. Okay, let's read here to understand better. Queued status. When runs are first created or when you complete the required action, they are moved to the queued status. They should almost immediately move to in progress. Okay. While in progress, the system uses the model and tools to perform steps. You can view progress being made by the run by examining the run steps. Cool. Completed. The run successfully completed. You can now view all messages in the assistant added to the thread and all the steps the run took. Okay. You can also continue the conversation by adding more user messages to the thread and creating another run. So completed status means the message is or the response to the user message is like there is no more action to take over, just to take over it. It's just completed right now. Requires action. When using the function calling tool, the run will move the required action state once the model determines the name and arguments of the function to be called. Okay. You then run those functions and submit the outputs before the run proceeds. If the outputs are not provided before the expiry at or okay. Timestamp passes roughly 10 minutes past creation, the run will move to an expired state. Okay, I understand now what expired means. So in case the model requires action to be performed, you have to send the output. So if you don't send the output in the needed time, like roughly 10 minutes past creation here, the status of the mess of the run will be expired. Okay. This happens when the function calling outputs were not submitted before the expires at and the run expires. Additionally, if the run takes too long to execute and go beyond the time started, stating the expires at, our system will expire the run. Okay. So there are two ways to expire a run. Either if you are exceeded 10 minutes or if that or if the run took too much to to run or the run or sorry. Again, there are two ways to expire to the again, one more again. I swear this is the last time. So there are two ways to expire a run or to make a run expire. If you exceed 10 minutes when you are in requires action state, or if the run took too long to finish. Okay. Canceling. You can attempt to cancel an in progress run using the cancel run endpoint. Once the attempt to cancel succeeds. I don't know why I just complete words from my mind. I don't know. The status of the run moves to cancelled. Cancellation is attempted but not guaranteed. So we actually have a button in the chatbot UI, to not to cancel, like to stop generating the response. So we're going to use the cancel run for this. Previously, I just used a board controller, which will just cancel the request with the OpenAI server, but we're not actually. I'm not sure if it will actually instruct the model to stop generating, or if there is a way to do this anyway. Run, okay, cancelled. Run was successfully cancelled. Okay, so we have two status actually to represent cancelling. Like cancelling, it means the cancelling is in progress. Cancelled uh, means the cancel was successfully the run was successfully cancelled. Failed, you can view the reason for failure by looking at the last error object in the run. The timestamp for the failure will be recorded under failed at. Okay. Okay, so there could be a reason for for a failed operation or for failed run operation. Okay, polling for updates. In order to keep the status of your run up to date, you will have to periodically retrieve the run object. You can check the status of the run each time you retrieve the object to determine what your application should do next. We plan to add support for streaming to make this simpler in the near future. There's no streaming? What do you mean there's no streaming? But we already have streaming right now. Again, let me read this again. In order to keep the status of your run up to date, you will have to periodically retrieve the run object. You can check the status of the run each time you retrieve the object to determine when the application should do next. Okay, I thought they will tell us what to do next using requires action status. Okay. By the way, requires action only happens in case you are using function calling tool, apparently, and not the built-in tools they're using. Thread logs when the run is in progress and not in terminal state. Terminal state could be one of those, I guess. Completed, failed, cancelled, expired. The thread is locked. That means that a new message cannot be added to the thread. Makes sense. New runs cannot be created in the thread. Also makes sense. Okay. Run statuses have the same run meaning as run statuses. Most of the interesting detail in the run step object lives in the step details field. There can be two types of step details. The run step is created when the assistant creates messages on the thread. Tool calls. This run step is created when an assistant calls a tool. Details around this are covered in the relevant sections of the Tools guide. Okay. Data access guidance, limitations. We are about to finish reading, finally going to code. Currently, assistants, threads, messages, and file created via API are scoped to the entire organization. As such, any person with API key access to the organization is able to read or write assistance, threads, messages, and files in the organization, which means enterprise companies won't, I guess, won't be actually using this because they don't have control over who is the person who's going to manage this stuff. So this is will not be actually useful or profitable per se from big companies unless they actually have some kind of full access based control. So companies can restrict the usage for their employees. Okay, we strongly recommend the following data control access control. Access controls. Implement authorization. Before performing reads or writes on assistant threads, messages, and files, ensure that the end user is authorized to do so. For example, storing database the object IDs that the end user has access to, and check before fetching the object ID with the API. Restrict API key access. Carefully consider who in your organization should have API keys, and periodically audit this list. API keys enable a wide range of operations, including reading and modifying sensitive information such as messages and files. Create separate accounts. Consider creating separate accounts organizations for different applications in order to isolate data across multiple applications. I like. I'm not sure if this is actually something uh, one would do, you know? Limitations. During this beta, or I heard I should spell out, pronounce it as beta. During this beta, there are several known limitations we are looking to address in the upcoming weeks and months. We will publish changelog on this page when we add support for additional functionality. Support for saving output. Man, I need the support. Very important. Support for notifications to share object status updates without the need for pooling. Okay. Support for DAL-E as a tool. Okay. 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 Support for for user message creation with images. Okay. I guess that's it, right? We have to jump to the code right now. We have to jump to the code. Finally. Okay. Well, this is my vlog. I just want to show you something before actually starting with the code. So let me, I guess I can just open another one. I have an old, like the current project. I think the name is semantic search. Man, I hate terminal intelligence. Okay. To be honest, I'm not sure if that project is still functional. The last time it wasn't. So we have, so this is the current logic. So we have this in, what is this? Really? It's not the time now. Okay, let's not comment this. This is just type issues. I'll just let it go. Okay, so the current logic is I have an endpoint. It's slash QA question answer slash OpenAI. I was experimenting with LangChain. That's why I namespaced the AI names. So the user is expected to send the post name, the question, or the query. I'll like just rename it user input, and session ID and repository URL. I will not explain the logic of this logic because like I think I needed to have these query parameters from here, so perhaps we don't need that much in the new logic. Yes, so I was actually using Redis as I said. So Redis.get. Yes, so I was actually storing the messages per post per session ID. The session ID is just a random ID generated in the user and saved in the local storage. So each time user send a message, like uh, like hitting this endpoint, the user have to send that generated session ID with the name of the post they are discussing with the AI. So this way I can retrieve the history chats if there is. Then I was just adding role user and content as like question, and I adding this small line. It is actually an effective way to have GPT produce better result. After that, I was getting the context. So my idea before was just index all blog posts, and trying to get the relevant section from a post rather than just embedding the whole post with it. Because I was using GPT-4 and it's just expensive. So yes, here in case there is no docs, that means the query is not relevant to the current post. So in that case, I just send a manually crafted message to the user saying I cannot find anything to answer you. This is config. So the config behind the scene, this API config will just use this whole information to create the system rule. I'm guessing there are issues here. Okay. Um, why? Okay, there is something wrong with the TypeScript here. Status bar. Yes, I think. Oh man. Okay, let me do this. Select version. Use workspace version. You always use workspace version. Don't use global version. I don't know why I have global version anyway. So to continue, I used GPT 3.5 Turbo. Oh, it's 16, not 32. So the bindings here, like the properties I'm sending, is just a way to craft the system template. And I was sending a bunch of configuration just to tune the model behavior. Then I was requesting completion from OpenAI, tracking the abortion of requests, so the user have an ability to cancel generation, to cancel the AI model generation. So in case the user canceled, I can capture that here. Then I was looping over the model completion response and sending what I have just right away. In case the request is aborted, sorry, in case the request is not aborted, I was like after finishing getting the whole response from the model, I was saving it in Redis so I can access it later on, and I was saving it just max 1 hour. Yeah, that's it. And in case like was handling the errors as well in this manner. Just a like quick overview of the current logic, and hopefully you are going to replicate the same thing using threads and assistant and runs API. Okay, that's cool. Let me try to show you an example just to make this more clear. So let me try. I'm not sure if this will work. What does for await do? Ask, ask. Oh, okay. Would it work? Let's wait. I'm not sure it works. You can check. Oh, it's not working. It's not working. Cannot reuse in page title. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I have to index. Let me open Postman. I just have to index the blog, the whole blog first. Okay, this is Postman. I don't know why Postman is just getting slower with time. Yes, so um, it's not okay. The server, the server. Okay, I have to make a change so the server can recognize that I need to. Let me remove something. I just add empty commit here. Come on. Okay, cool. Let's start. Okay, try to index now. Do I need to index? the blog. I thought I removed this step before. Hmm, I don't remember. I don't really remember. This is Turkish tea. It's very cool one. I really love it. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so it's indexed. Let's try again. Um, Let me refresh the page. So what does for await do? Ask. Check the API. Okay. So far, okay, there was an error. I did not see it. Sorry. I have to try again. What was the error? Hello. Reading page title. What's page title? Page title. I don't have page title anymore, do I? So page title is a property in the blog. I do have page title. I guess this means, okay, for await. Okay, let me close the blog. No, let's open the blog. Do I need the page title? It says I cannot read it from undefined, which means front matter is not populated. So how do we get the context? We get get docs and get store excellent undefined or null. Oh, undefined. So this is not the reason. I guess the reason is here. This front matter. Did the front matter. Do I need front matter? I do need front matter. Okay, let's just, add the title statically. I don't want you to work this right now because I'll remove all the logic anyway. Okay. This will not work as well. Let's remove it. But I also need to remove it from here. Context. Okay. For await. Still working. Okay. It did work. Okay. See? By the way, this design is inspired by Arc browser um find feature. For await, what is, you see? So my design is actually inspired by them. Thank you, Arc browser UI designer. It's way much faster than mine, and it actually it give concise information. Okay, but let's see what we have here. Mine actually have code examples. Yeah. So sure, let's break down the concept for await step by step. The for await loop is a special type flow introduced in JavaScript to iterate over asynchronous iterable objects. It's used to iterate over collection promises or other consequences. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's used to iterate over a collection of promises or other asynchronous data sources. Correct? For the for await loop is similar to the regular for off loop, but it's specifically designed to work with asynchronous operations. Nice. The for await loop can be used with an object that implements the asynchronous iterable protocol. This includes objects that have an async iterator methods. Nice. Okay. Inside a fair wait loop, you can use the await keyword to pause the execution of the loop until the promised asynchronous operation is resolved. That's actually very good. I like it. And here's a good example. Let's move my face. Sorry guys. Um, in this example, the fetch data function is an asynchronous function that simulates fetching data asynchronously inside the await loop. Inside the for await loop, each item in the data array is logged to the console, and then the setMout function is used to pause the execution of the loop for 1 second before moving on to the next iteration. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any further questions. I do have further question. What does async iterator means? And how does it fit in this model? Okay, okay. An error? Hmm, there's an error. If I know the error, why there's an error. Because here, um, do we have stopped in the config? You know what? Let's just not bother with this. You understand the concept. The error is that because the data might be empty or yes, the data might be null, undefined, or empty. I'm not sure. So that's why we have the error. Anyway, let's just close this project and go back and close here and go back to our project. As simple as we are going to say OpenAI. I'll actually keep it the same endpoint. Yeah. So I already have OpenAI there. Okay, I already have not Victor semantic search. Yeah. I'll just grab this one. Put it here. Import. Oh, come on. Where is OpenAI? Import OpenAI here, just to save time. Remove this from here. Okay, so OpenAI dot. Do we have a new configuration here? No, we don't. Okay. So start, we said we need to create an assistant, right? First thing. So we said we are going to create an assistant per user because do we really need assistant for each user? Let me create an assistant. Okay, we are creating an assistant here, does have a file, and that assistant have instructions. I don't think we need to create an assistant per user. We just need to create an assistant per blog post and a thread per user. Yes. So do I need to? Okay. So I'll just I'll keep this endpoint later on because this endpoint will have the threads. You know what? Just remove it. Dot post assist. Okay. Thank you, Copilot. But I'll just choose. You know what? Let's keep it AI as well. So assistant will have. Sorry. Yes, assistant will have the files ID. So we need to get a file from GitHub. So we need to send the user have to send the post title. So we can get it from the originated source, which is GitHub in my case. Okay, so we're gonna post slug. Okay, response dot end. Thank you, response. I'll respond to just JSON created through, or perhaps success. Okay, OpenAI dot what? Beta assistant create. Const model. We don't have options, we don't have types, really? Okay, let's just copy this one. We don't have types. Let's see the list of models. List of models, let's see them. Come on. Okay. List of models. Here they are. We have model ID 0. What's this? No, I just need to get a list of your. Just list me your models here. I don't have to fetch any API. I don't want my user to choose what models to fetch. Okay, anyway. Models. Description. So what description are we using here? We have description, I have instructions. Okay, I confused the description with um I think I confused the description of assistant with the instructions in runs API. Okay, so perhaps I'll just use description here. Okay, you are a great academic visualization. Anyway, I'll just system template. Okay, let's just move the identity and paste it here. Come on, toggle. Blog Assistant is a dedicated aid for students. It's built to answer questions, provide clarifications, and help explore topics in straightforward manner. Instruction. Okay. Again, I just need to understand the difference between description and instructions. I think we need to do some Googling. Description. Assistant controller. Okay, this is careers. I have to try. I don't know. Let's just use this one, and I'll send instructions in the threads. Let me create another endpoint. Add post. metadata set of a 16 key value pairs that can be attached to an object. This can be useful for storing the information about the object in structure format. Keys can be maximum 64 characters long and values can be maximum of 512 characters long. Messages. Again, what does this have? So wait, transform OpenAI threads. What we have in the beta object? We have chat threads assistant. What does chat mean? Okay, we got our chat. Threads runs dot steps date create. Okay, so we need thread ID. And you have a bunch of options here, path instructions, and I'll just paste the instructions from before here. What else we have? We have assistant ID. So we need to get the against assistant ID from requested body. Assistant ID. What else we need? We need metadata. Okay, I don't need metadata right now. We have tools. I won't be using tools. We have model. I will just be using the. I'll just use the model assistant instance model associated here. I'll just use this model for the run. This is to create a thread. Let's just create and we have create and run. It does have system ID, instructions, metadata. Oh, this is like when it's just a single shot to the model without having to go back and forth with discussion. No, this will not work for me. So let's just move this. Yes, and create another endpoint. This time I'll call it API run. Yes. So this API run will not have a system ID because we don't need it. We'll have this like this. Okay, so we need the third ID as well. Run. So wait. This one is what? Okay, so the run have the status. Does have expires that, failed that, completed that, cancel that. It's the status we talked about before uh, in the API documentation. Okay, cool. How do I send the messages anyway? Can it be just like this? It can be like this. So let me thread ID. Okay, you know what? I need to send assistant ID back. I'm not sure why yet, but I guess it will be help. So the reason of having bots like is to fetch the blog post file. So how I'm going to fetch the post blog file? The easiest way is to use GitHub APIs, or I already have. Let's explore GitHub APIs first. Fetch GitHub file from GitHub. Come on, seriously? Stairs? Here's stairs. Here's stairs. Here's stairs. Okay. Stack Overflow to the rescue. Okay, that's cool. I'll just use fetch. Okay, let's try this one. Create function here. Function fetch GitHub fetch blog post. like string. You know what? I will just use the post title. So this one's and just send it back as is. Fetch my post title. So this will restore the content and not the actual file. Um, of course. Let me just open my blog. So GitHub. So it's user site blog 10 source. For example, let's use the streaming. Well, I just need to understand how the URL structure is when using raw. Okay, come on. Okay, so just copy this. Sorry, go back to this one here. The reason why I used post title instead of post slide because some of my blogs does not like have a weird title. It's not weird, it just have spaces in it. For example, this one does have spaces. So this one, so if I send a slide, I'll send it with the dashes in it, so it will not work. You see, so I'm stuck in using this. Anyway, post title. Why it's not coloring? This new theme sucks. Okay, let me try to run this in the console and see what happens. Okay, go back and we close this. Close this, open this console here. Okay, fetch blog post and say just use the old title here. Yes. Okay. Refuse to connect. Nice. Let's do this here. Will it refuse to connect? No, it wouldn't. Okay, it wouldn't. Here's fine. So now what we need is we need to have this text in a file. We actually need to upload the file to the OpenAI as well. So openai.files.content create file. So what does the file have to be here? The file is uploadable. What does uploadable here? File like response like if I said stream response like it's not response like, although we can make it response like. File like choose blob like. So we can just create a blob for it. Buffer from no how I used to create blob. It's a new blob. What's wrong? Let me Google again. File like JavaScript. So this is not working. Hmm. So the reason why it's not working because it says it's missing the last modified date, which is an actual file. So can we create a file? I don't think we can. Can we? Oh, we can. Nice. This is new for me. Purpose. Oh, what I said before about purpose was wrong. There is a predefined value for purpose, so it's assistant, not fine-tune here. So fine, take the blue part. This is actually very cool. This is the first time I know about it. What's the options? Ending, let's try type. Forget about endings. Okay. So we have file equal await post content. Okay, nice. So we're sending file.id here. Okay, so this is ready to be used. We need to tune the description later on, but so far it's all good. So the threads is also ready to use. So the way this like in the run API, we will need to have the thread ID and assistant ID. So what would happen right now? The user will invoke this one. Um, we will actually invoke this one using Postman. I'm assuming there will be some kind of admin panel later on to invoke these endpoints, but for now we will use Postman just to invoke it, or Care perhaps, and we will do the same for this. And I'll just copy the static IDs for the assistant. Um, yeah, or but this will need more work. Whenever I publish a new post, I'll create an assistant for it. I'll grab the ID and I'll post it in the front matter of the post. So the way I create post, I use Astro, and this is an example. So we have front matter here. What would I do? I'll just use assistant ID and I'll just paste the assistant ID here. But I'm not sure if it's secure, or I'm not sure if it does need to be secure in the first place. But anyway, this is what I'm going to do later on. For now, I'll just statically paste them. Same for threads. No, the threads will be created by the user, and the thread ID will be saved in the user local storage, because the user have to have a unique thread between the blog post and um, wait, the user have to have a unique ID, sorry, a thread for each post, and that thread ID should be stored in the user device this way, or which means I can associate different ID in the metadata here. So I can say post title, and the post title will, let me copy this. So this post title, so the next time I'll just say OpenAI beta threads retrieve. So if there is a way to retrieve a thread by metadata, I can actually not have to save anything. But can I? Looks like I can't. Okay, I'll just save the thread ID in the user local storage and use it every time the user send a message uh, to the AI, like using this endpoint. So I'll have thread ID, assistant ID. I'll be sending it statically from. Um, I'll just paste any assistant ID created here. Oh, okay. The tea is very cold by now, but I'll just drink it anyway. It's not that cold actually. Okay, so the run. How I'm going to supply messages to the run. So the run is a way to associate thread with the assistant with specific instructions. So the thread will use assistant or the assistant will use the thread to store the messages. Um, Let me check the API again. Okay, sorry. Where's the API? Where's the API? Assistant. Okay, so how I'm going to send messages? So what's if I won't be sending messages using runs? What's the value of runs? It's a way to specify tools. No, we can specify tools in the assistant object. Threads and messages represent conversation session between an assistant and user. There's no limit to the number of messages you store in the thread. Once size of messages exceed the quantity of window, the model, the thread will attempt to include as many messages as possible that fit in the context window. And drop all these messages, note that this truncation strategy may evolve over time. I still don't understand. What's the value of run in that case? Mm-mm. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm going to update the list of messages or how to send messages anyway. So the thread here have messages, list of messages to start the thread with. But I don't really want to like. I'm missing something. Wait. We have another API for threads messages. Get a message. So what does get message will do? Will it actually content role, and then what would it return anything? Let's see. No, just create a message. Does not return a response. But I think if I just use OpenAI beta chat completions, run functions, convenience helper for function calling with chat completion point, which can be called the budget function you provide in the sense. Okay, not this as well. Stream. Does it take thread ID? Does not take thread ID. See stream token function model. Okay. No, this is the old style way. This is like the old APIs. No, this is not what we want. I just need to understand how to send, like how to make conversation between threads and between the assistant and the run step. So do I need to update thread? Come on, delete, retrieve, update. No, update won't work. We just can't update the metadata. So what else? I'm missing something. Let's see if there's a tutorial or something to read about this. Just let's see the assistant background. Or wait, we have wait. Create an assistant in a UI by defining its class instruction making a model. Become a name tool. Add messages to the thread as the user asks questions. Okay. Um, Here we have another one called retrieve. Thread ID. Okay, forget the options. Mm, No, it says here create a thread when a user starts conversation. Okay, add messages to the thread as user asks. Okay, create message within the threads message object. Okay, we need to try. Forget about conversations. So first of all, um, I'll just enter an ID. Perhaps I'm just thinking about it from normal API communication, like relations between thread and assistant. Perhaps this is just different model that my mind is not cannot think of. Okay, so we have a new. Let's duplicate this one. Duplicate, and this will be what this will be. This will be threads. Threads. Just name it a new assistant. Okay, so the body will be the repository already have it statically. Okay, so we will have post title, right? Assistant will have post title only. So I'll just use post title, and the post title I'll use will be this one over here. Okay, and this postman. Come on, postman. Okay, okay. Will be API slash assistant sent to because it's 3000. What's wrong? She's post title. Cannot destruction resource of Rickspot as it's undefined. Rickspot is okay. Okay. I hate Express for this. What's wrong? Why is not defined? I know there's something wrong with this. Create file object from string JavaScript. We don't have this in Node.js. Magic. I don't want to install any dependency right now. No, 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 no. Just out of curiosity, I'll use this way. Just use URL, create object URL. So this will return string. This will not work. Okay. File. Okay, this should work. Okay, what's wrong? Files are unsupported retrieval or contributor tools are enabled. Really? So I have to say retrieval? Okay. Oh, sorry, not this one. What's this? What's if I do? I just need to say type. Okay. Right, just type. Come on, it's array. But I'm not sure what does retrieval means here. I thought we'll just use file as context. I'm guessing this will not work. We might end up just sending the whole post um as instructions, as a way, as part of instructions. Okay. So that's the idea of the assistant. Let's save it here. So from now on, I'll be using this ID for everything. Okay, let's create a thread then. Um, Duplicate threads, threads. And what does it need? Does it need just post title? Why doesn't need post title? Okay. Here is the thread ID. Okay. Okay. So where do we need thread ID? We need it here. So thread ID. I'll use postman right now again for run. Still does not make sense. How to send messages after the initial message? If run does not support it, then how? Okay, let me create another endpoint for messages only, just to see how. I think it needs thread ID. content rule will be user content will be um I don't know. So so again, here's a thread. We are adding message to the thread. The thread will have the message, but okay, let's just say for await, just for example. So post title is useless here. Let's send the whole message back as is. I just need to see what it does have inside. Okay. We don't need to send anything. Okay. Okay, so we have this is just an object to present the message I just sent. Okay. So okay, let's use the run again. And right this time I'll just retain the whole run object. I'll just run. What does it need? Does it? Doesn't it just needs nothing. Duplicate. Run. Run. Okay. Run. So we have this run object. It does have tools, retrieval, file ID. Okay. Instructions. Okay. But it doesn't have anything about our response. How I can get the response, for God's sake? They created the whole Dev Day conference and they don't have documentation about how to actually create proper conversation using their APIs. Come on. Okay, let's create an endpoint to retrieve a thread. Just use ID. I have threads to retrieve. Body headers distribution item scheme the back creating the team and from here and return the whole thing. Okay, so we have duplicate the thread. I'll just say URI get. Let me save this one. Close it. This is get. This is threads. Okay. What is I need the ID? Just forget about the ID now. I already have it statically stored here in the memory. Really? I need the messages, for God's sake. Okay, so our last hope to use the steps API. Well, steps API is just a bunch of uh, it's just a bunch of information about the step. I'm stuck here. Okay, I think like do you recall when we read that um, like there was a part in the API where it says that we have to do periodic check. Um, yeah, yes, this here. Like in order to keep the states of your run up to date, you will have to periodically retrieve the run object. You can check the status of each run object. You have to retrieve the object to determine what you can should do next. No, this is not it. This is not it. I do have we read this? You know what? Let's read this. We have not read this one. The Assistant API allows you to build an AI assistants within your own applications. An assistant has instructions and can leverage models, tools, and knowledge to respond to user queries. The Assistant API currently supports three types of tools: contributor, retrieval, and function calling. Okay, you can explore. Okay, I read all of this stuff. Um, an assistant represents an entity that can be configured to respond to users' messages using several parameters like instructions. How the assistant model should behave or respond. Model, you can specify an GPT 3.5 or GPT-4 models, including fine-tuned models. Retrieval tool requires. Okay, cool. So I can use GPT 3.5. Okay, all's good. Assistant, create a thread, add a message to the thread. Now, if you read the message that you'll see the message add to the thread on creation. On, on creation. Run the assistant. Display this instruction. How? Oh, do we need to get run back? No. Okay. After, so we have first create an assistant, then we need to create a thread, then we need to add a message, then we need to run use the run API to run the thread, and then we need to retrieve a list of messages after. So, hmm, I hate OpenAI. Okay, so this is where everything. Okay. Let's just say here and next. Does it have object here? Okay. Okay. Let's duplicate this one. Okay. Finally, I did it. I really did it. Um, so this is our first input to the threads, and this is the assistant input. And let's see what the assistant is saying. It looks like there might have been a misunderstanding or a mistake with your last message. It only contains the text for await, which is not what context for me to assist you effectively. If you are referring to the concept of for await in programming, this will okay, this is wrong and it should be better. So again, the way we need to create a thread. So we need to create assistant, then a thread, then add a message, then perform use a message, then perform a run over a thread, then retrieve list of messages in which would contain the assistant response. And that's why there's no streaming, because I have to make these individual calls individually, which is not good. So there are a few problems. The first and most important one, the user have to wait for the whole response to get together before it is actually displayed. Second issue, I have to periodically check the last run API. So I have to store the run ID basically and just make uh, a periodic check over the status and check the status whether the API, the run is completed or not, and if so, just to fetch list of messages. Um, I just like this does not feel right. Like the previous like the current logic is way better than this one. I understand like they are very good, like they include pages in this, there is a history and so on, and there's truncation by default, and it's beautiful, nice, very cool. There's retrieval and tools and all this stuff, but still, this is not better from user experience perspective. They have to fix this thing. Like I expect when I just hit run, I expect the response to be streamed. That's why I was confused, like how to actually send a message. I thought that I would be able to send a message using um uh, using the run API. By the way, they have, if you look here, I was just thinking about it right now, they have a way to specify messages, right? Yes, this messages. It is initial messages. It says list of messages to start the thread with, which means that if you already have an application that relies on the old way of doing stuff and you are stored, so you store the messages in some storage, you can migrate over to threads and just fill the old messages in this array here, and it should work for you. Okay, I'm finishing the video right now because I'm exhausted and I'm actually thirsty. And we will do the front end part later on, but I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure if I want to resume working with this logic, like with this new API, because it does not make sense, and it's actually a bit more complex than the one I already have. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, see you soon. Bye.